My name is Lyra Mackay, and I'm an evangelist at Zoho. And usually that means that I travel around and I attend events. But now, obviously, we aren't able to do that, unfortunately, because I really do love meeting everyone and talking to all of our customers and, even new people who haven't heard about Zoho. I love meeting you all. So it's very sad that we aren't able to travel at the moment, but in time we will be able to meet each other somewhere out in the world. So for now, my job has been organizing these webinars and running them for you to learn about our new bundle of apps called Zoho Remotely. And that is what you all are here to listen to me speak about today. So, just a few housekeeping things before I get into it. Chrome or Firefox is going to be your best bet when watching this, or the Showtime Viewer app on a mobile or tablet. Just in case you have a bad connection, you can refresh your browser or hop onto Chrome or Firefox if you are having issues. So try and refresh first, and then if it's not working, please let me know in the chat. This is being recorded right now, my voice and the slides, and that will be sent to you within a few hours of the webinar finishing. If you have any questions, please post them in the question tab, and we will have time for me to go through and answer all of those at the end. And then if you want to chat, you can post in the chat, but please put all your questions, if you can, if you remember, in the question bar. That would be great. Okay. So today we are going to talk about, first I'm going to touch on Zoho as a company, but then I'm going to talk about Zoho remotely, and I'm going to show you some applications. So Click, Meeting, WorkDrive, Writer, and then I'm going to go through some resources. Okay. So firstly, Zoho as a company. So we've been around for over 24 years now, and that might shock some of you because in general, in the tech industry, not many people have heard of Zoho. And that's because we don't spend that much money on marketing. We like to put our money back into the company and spend money on engineering, product development, and research and design. So I'm saying this because if you're wondering about the capabilities of these free products and whether they'll be able to support the needs of your business, they definitely can. So Zoho has over 8,000 employees now. It's probably closer to 9 or 10,000. This slide's a little bit old. But we all work together across multiple countries, cities, and obviously a lot of different time zones, and in multiple different departments. And we all use Zoho products. So one of Zoho's core values is privacy. And a lot of companies talk about privacy and how important it is for them and their customers. But I think a lot of companies drop the ball simply because of how many other organizations they involve in their business practices. So maybe you have a company that really does value your privacy, but then they're using another vendor to run their servers, and somehow the data can be compromised. Or a company says that they value your privacy, but then they use your data to develop projects or sell your data to their trusted partners or something like that. So this stuff is pretty common, especially with free versions of products. So when you think of free versions, typically you think of ads. So with Zoho, that is very different. We are absolutely committed to your privacy because we also value our privacy. And that's one of the big reasons why we are a private bootstrapped company. We've never taken money from investors. Our CEO has made it very clear we will never go public. We don't have shareholders that we need to please. And we are already very profitable and have been for many years. So really, we only have to worry about pleasing our customers and our staff, our team that we work with. So we're very aware that you, our customers, have built our business. Just like all of our businesses, we wouldn't be where we are without our customers. So this is the reason why Remotely is free right now, because our customers have stood by us for all these years. And in these times, we recognize that these kind of tools are really needed, and we're standing by you offering them for free. So even though remotely is free, I just wanted to mention and point out that we don't own your data, you do. We'll never sell your data, and you'll never see any ads in our products. And I think that's just something nice to know and nice to point out before we get started. So Zoho has over 50 applications right now, and these are at the bottom. And then you can see the platforms in the middle. And Zoho remotely fits in here. It's one of the platforms. So it's not on this slide, but it is one of the platforms. And then at the top, you see Zoho One. So maybe you've heard of Zoho One, maybe you're a Zoho One user. Basically, if you don't know, Zoho One is our big bundle of applications. Over 45, probably up to 50 applications are included in Zoho One right now. And it's basically, we call it our operating system for business. So Zoho One is, we would say it's at the top. And then you have a bunch of different platforms, which if you're only needing like the finance suite, or if you're only needing something for collaboration or for your customers, they can be grouped into the platforms. And then at the bottom, you have all of the applications that you can purchase separately as well. A lot of them also have free versions of the application, so that's just helpful to know as well. All right, so now that you have the context of Zoho, the free bundle of Remotely is not a sketchy piece of software. It's a really powerful toolkit that gives you access to these 10 different applications that you see on the screen. There is an 11th one called Zoho Lens. It's not available in Australia or New Zealand. I'm pretty sure it's just in the US now, which is why I have not included it. But if you are in the US, you can check that out as well. But for now, these are the Australian and New Zealand products included in Remotely. So there are 10 of them. And they're designed to help you in the transition to working from home and help your business to carry on its operations with a scattered workforce while you can maintain a high productivity and, communication with your team. So generally, Remotely is designed to help beginners set up their home office. So how do you get started collaborating and maintaining communication? But maybe you've been working from home for a long time, and this is just your opportunity to streamline things. That's perfectly fine. Many of us would be used to being able to get up and go and walk to our colleagues' desks and have a chat with them about something. And it might actually be really hard transitioning into working from home. So these are the apps included, and they can be broken up into 4 different categories. And these are communication, collaboration, productivity, and remote assistance. So some of the applications, can sit under a few of these different categories, but this is how we've decided to break them up for now. So within communication, we have Click, Meeting, and Showtime. Collaboration is Work Drive, Projects, and Sprints. Productivity, we have our Office suite, which is Writer, Sheet, and Show. And then remote assistance is Assist, and that's where Lens would sit if you're in the US. So today, I'm going to focus on Click, Meeting, and Work Drive. I hope that's all right for today. I will be doing a webinar tomorrow on projects and sprints. If you're interested in project management tools, have a look on the Remotely webinars page and register for that. Also, let me know if you'd like a webinar going into some of the other applications. And if you have questions about the other apps, feel free to ask them as well. So Click is our chat-based team communication application. It's similar to Slack if you've ever used that. Sorry, let me just load. Here we go. So yeah, similar to Slack, but it goes beyond that. So you can see on this slide with Click, you can send messages, audio call, video call, share files, you can create channels, you can video broadcast, screen share, and then you can plan events and set reminders. And there's also a bunch of different things that you can do with Click, which I'll explain throughout. So usually if you use separate applications for your communication, it might look like this. The apps that you use to run your business over here and the app that you use to communicate would be disconnected. With Click, you go from fragmented to focused. And that's because, as well as being a chat tool, Click is available in a lot of our other applications as a there's a sort of mini version. So when you're working with your team in projects, for example, our project management tool, and you need to chat with them, instead of leaving projects and going into a separate app, starting a chat or a video call and explaining the problem, you can stay in projects, start a chat, and even screen share with your team to discuss a certain problem. Click is also available on desktop and mobile. I use both of these very heavily, and so does everyone else at Zoho. You can see here on the left that we have some conversations, some channels, and our contacts. And you can also pin important chats or contacts at the top. So also on this screenshot, you can see a few different things. So on the right-hand side, you can see this graph here. And above that, someone has asked, is it too early to ask for stats? So basically, with Click, file sharing becomes actionable. So instead of someone in the channel asking for stats, me sending it to them by email, letting them know in the chat that I sent it to their email, then having a bunch of other people in the chat ask me for the document as well, and me having to go and send it to them, I can post it right into the Click channel so that everyone can see it and comment on it instantly, which cuts through a lot of noise. And then, excuse me, below that, you can see that someone has asked for a brochure and another person has put it right there for everyone else to see. So another cool thing with Click, and I might just mention that you can see that it's a chat here because it's got a little hash symbol, a channel because it's got a little hash symbol up there. And I'll explain that a little bit further down the track. But another cool thing is that you can build bots that can help you with your work. And there's a few that come within Click that you don't have to set up. So here on the left, we have the Zilka bot. So this screenshot is from a demo account that we use called Zilka. Up the top, the bot has sent me a reminder to complete some revenue reports. I can see that and I can add a comment or I can change the status. You can also add reminders to be that this is sent to your employees. And then down here, I've asked for my to-dos. And the bot has given me a list of things to do on my to-do list. So there are multiple actions that you can also perform within Click. So one of my favorite things is that you can actually mute channels. Not that I don't love my teammates, but I'm in a lot of channels for marketing and support, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't need to know at that time. So I just go in and sort of check that when I want to. Like that marketing channel that you saw, if someone was in that, they could mute it for an hour or more, or indefinitely. And then you can also forward messages. You can fork this message so you can turn it from a channel, and then you can separate it so that you can message individual people if you like. You can set reminders, mark as unread, share a message link, and then you can click more and you can add it to your projects, add to your Google Drive, create a task, and so on. And it just means that you can, it's much easier to delegate and again, cut out the noise of switching between applications. It means you can be more productive and more efficient when you're working. Now here is a mini version of Click that is embedded into the Zoho platform. So it's not in every application, but it's in a lot of the ones included in remotely, except for, I believe, Meeting and Showtime. But basically down the bottom, you can see this little smart bar that runs across there. It's also got search here if you wanted to search anything. But you can see we've got these chats, channels, and these contacts. And that's just in there, and this is in Mail. That's just in there so that you don't miss any chats when you're in a different application. So now I will do a quick demo of Click for you. I'm just going to bring down this browser here. So hopefully everyone can see that. It looks like you can. Basically, when you first sign up for remotely, this is the screen that you're going to see. So I might just quickly go into the admin panel and show you a few things here. So here we've got some organization information. You've got your applications here. One thing to note is that our Office suite is sort of under the umbrella of WorkDrive. You have your users here. You can easily add a new user. You can make as many admins as you like. You can set up groups, which means that if you have 5 applications in the managers group and you have a certain level of access that they can have to that application or to those applications, as soon as you add someone to the managers group, they automatically get assigned those apps and the level of access. And then you can add your domain there. That's pretty straightforward for the admin panel. I just wanted to show that. But now I'm going to go into Click, and you can click through here, or you can type in click.zoho.com straight into your browser and head to Click there. But basically, this is a pretty new demo account, so it might look a little bit boring, but it does the job today. So you can create organization, team, personal, or external chats. And you can see that we've got some external channels here. And we know they're channels because they have the little hash symbol. And we know they're external because they're under this little external bubble here. So to create an external channel, you can click here or you can click this plus. I'm going to create one here. And you can choose a name. You can maybe add an image, invite the people you want, and describe what is happening in the channel. So maybe this channel is about cats, and you want to invite our friend Megan, and oh, sorry, I keep putting a Z there. And you want to create the channel about cats. And then there you simply click Create Channel, and there it is. There's also internal channels. So within the daily briefing, you can see that Bob and Dylan are having a chat about cats and contracts, and we can join into the chat and say, I love cats. And, I love contracts as well. So I love cats and contracts. Oh, I keep putting a Z. Maybe that's how we should spell cats from now on. Okay, so so we can join in and say that. Okay, so moving on. We can also add participants here. We can do a broadcast or a group call. So when you start a broadcast, it's essentially a video conference. There are 2 different options here. Number 1 is handshake mode, which is 2 people's video feed at a time, or 1 main person's video, and then another person's video can switch between participants as you go. So basically that's 2 videos maximum at a time. Then there's assembly mode, and that's 1 person's video, basically speaking to everyone. And then there's a group call option, which is actually in beta at the moment. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that available in your Click if you have signed up for remotely, but let me know if you can't and if you'd like it, and I can get the team to add it to your account. But basically, you can do a video call for up to 9 people, or just an audio call if you like. So one thing to note here, and I mentioned it before, is that you've got your external channels and they are separated in the yellow section. But then your external contacts are not separated. So Tony Gaines here is actually an external contact. And so that's just one thing. You should always check who you're sending messages to, but just keep a note of that. Also to note, in Zoho remotely, you can have 5 external channels and up to 500 individual external participants. In one-on-one chats, then you have a few more options. So I'll just go to a one-on-one chat. Oh, what's happening there? We've got a loaf of bread. Cool. So in the one-on-one chat, you can have an audio call, a video call, or a screen share as well. Then, like I said, you can mute that chat maybe if you're busy or something. You can also go up to here and click on that and then change it to busy, and you won't receive any pop-ups or notifications. If you're just deep into work, you can do that. Then there are a few actions that you can perform. You can print the chat, pin the conversation, turn off the history, have a look at the chats in common. So that'll be the channels. And then you can also search in the conversation. Someone's just asked, what's the difference between internal and external channels? So internal channels are the conversations that you're having with your organization internally. And then external channels is that you can actually invite people who are not in your organization to chat with you. And basically, it just sends them a link and then they can have access to click. They don't need to pay or sign up or anything. They can just have a chat with you in the external channel. So, last thing I want to show you with Click is that there are lots of extensions here. So yeah, you can see your star messages. You can see who's mentioned you in a channel or a chat. See your history. Have a look at some reminders, your calendar, and then there are some extensions here. So you can connect Click to a lot of Zoho apps, most of them, but also third-party applications. So to Google Drive to share files, and also you can make some memes if you like. Not sure why that's there, but anyway, there's all these other things that you can connect it to. So you're welcome to have a look through there. So the extensions just help you communicate, externally with context and eliminate noise that can crowd your team communications. All right, so I'm going to go back to my slides now. Here we go, drag that up. Okay. And now I'm going to go into meeting. So I do see a few questions in there. I'm just going to carry on and I will get to those at the end, I promise. So Zoho Meeting is our team meeting and webinar application. We also have Zoho Showtime, which I won't be covering today. And that is more for classroom style webinar training. When you have a series or something, the main difference is just the UI is a little bit different. That's the user interface, so what you see. And with Showtime, you can actually take payment for running your webinars. So this is good if you're a gym or a fitness studio or someone who does some online training. Showtime is available in Zoho remotely as well. So yeah, if someone's going to pay for your content, I would go with Showtime. But and today I'm using Showtime as well, but I could also use Meeting. So in Meeting, when running a live webinar, you can use audio and video and screen share with your audience. You can take questions, run polls, have them raise their hand. You can also make an attendee a presenter if they need to share their screen and speak to the entire audience, maybe for questions or if they have any, or if they're one of your colleagues. You can also let your attendees speak, and this is also captured in the webinar recording, which is helpful to know. Then when you hold meetings, you can do this internally and externally. Simply just send a link to someone and they can sign into the meeting on their computer. Something that's really exciting is that we have just introduced multiple video feed capabilities when holding a meeting. And you can have up to 25 videos at a time. So this is just introduced a few days ago, actually. The recording function of those meetings will be available soon. And then in our mobile app, the multiple video is not available yet. It will be soon. So when you sign into your mobile, if you're a participant, only the active speaker's video will be shown to those people on mobile. In a meeting, you can give your team control to share their screen. You can mute someone. You can also remove participants if you're finished and maybe now discussing something confidential with the managers. Then you can lock meetings. So even if someone has the link to enter the meeting, you will have to approve everyone who tries to enter. Overall, with Meeting, there are no downloads required. You can record the sessions, build reports, and then security is always very important. So maybe you've heard about what's happening in the news with Zoom. With Zoho, like I've said before, we really care about your privacy and security because it's important to us that we have our privacy, and it's important to us that we have security in our business. So before you start or join a meeting, you have to give approval to give give your computer access to your microphone and camera every time. So there are no unnecessary privileges given to meeting, and also no unnecessary privileges are given to your attendees unless you allow that. Like, for example, talking, you can mute everyone if it's a sort of webinar style training, like you're all muted now. I would love to talk to you and have you talk to me, but it's a webinar, and so the focus is on what I'm saying to you and my slides. So from there, with security, we encrypt all of your personal information, and Zoho cannot read or interpret any information shared during a meeting. So all of the transmissions take place through 128-bit encryption. If you know what that means, that's awesome. If not, basically, it would take a modern computer 128 years' time to crack the encryption key in 1 second. So in 128 years, get back to me and I'll update you on what we're doing to advance our encryption. But for now, there's nothing you have to worry about with that. So I'm going to do a demo of meeting. Here we go. I'm going to bring, oh, hang on. Meeting demo. Cool. Okay. I'm going to bring this down here again. And I'm going to get rid of click because we are done with that. And here we can see meeting. So I'm going to go into that. So I just have a sip of water. All right. So this is the screen that you see when you enter Zoho Meeting. It's very basic, but it really doesn't have to be any crazier than this. You can easily start or schedule a meeting here or schedule a webinar. So if I'm going to schedule a meeting, I'm going to stay on theme, and I'm going to say that this meeting is about cats. And here we go. We've got more cats. The participant, I'll just choose me. That's my email. I will give it to you later. So feel free to write it down now or not. But basically, this is what you're going to see. I'm going to get an email saying Dylan has invited you to a meeting about cats. Join at 8 p.m. tonight. I think that's tonight. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Or you can send this link. So they can either go on to meet.zoho.com and enter this key, or you can send them this link and then they can join there. So let me go back out of that. And then you can see your meetings scheduled here. You can see some past meetings that we've had. Same thing for webinars. When you schedule a webinar, hopefully it would be about more than just cats, but excuse me, you can put a title in there, a description, set a date, how long it goes for, and then schedule that. Same thing, share the link with your participants in an email or, on your website or something. You can see your webinars and your past webinars and your analytics here. We haven't done any on this demo account, but that's where they would show up. So my recordings would show up there as well. And then you have a few settings, excuse me. So you can change your time zone. This is a US demo account, so that's why that's there. Manage your organization. You can change some information, turn on or off, some settings here. Then you can also set your provisioning and access management for your employees here, for your users. You can also do that in the admin panel, which I showed you before. This is just another way to do it. And then you can integrate it with the CRM and with campaigns. So that is all the demo I'm going to do for meeting. So I'm going to go back into the slides. Here we go. And because I didn't want to start a meeting, because I might, I'm obviously talking with all of you and I don't want to lose you, I'm going to show you some screenshots of it here. So here is when you start a meeting, you've got you've got your attendees here. You can see if they have control or not with the mouse, if they have audio, and then you can give them control. You can mute their audio or you can remove them. You can invite the attendees with their email, or you can share this link with your attendees as well. So next up is the webinar screenshot. And you can see, again, looks pretty similar. You've got your attendees. They can raise their hand here if there's an issue or if they have a question. Then you can see if they are speaking. You can allow them to talk. You can make them presenter, or you can just leave it as is. Same thing. You can invite them with their email, or you can send that link to them. It's yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So the last app I want to talk about today is going to be WorkDrive. And here, I'll just get all of these up for you to see. And the third one, great. So WorkDrive is our online unified file management application that gives your team a secure shared workspace. So it's ultimately designed for teams and their collaboration in mind. So it's similar to Google Drive if you're familiar. The big difference is that it is private. It is incredibly secure. So Zoho owns and maintains all of our own data centers, which is nice to know when you're considering a tool to hold all of your work files. So some key features include the ability to have team folders as well as external folders. So you can share with people outside of your company. And then under the umbrella of WorkDrive is the Office suite over here. So with team folders, again, designed for collaboration, you can set up different access permissions. You can sync it with your desktop, and there's a really nice unified search there as well. With your external folders, that's obviously sharing externally. You can password protect those documents that you're sharing externally. You can set an expiry. You can turn on or off downloads, and you can also share in different file formats or upload different file formats as well. And I will show you that when I do a demo. And then the Office suite, we've got Writer, Sheet, and Show. So Writer is our document creator application. Sheet is our spreadsheet application, and Show is our presentation builder, which I've used to build this presentation for you today. So you get a little inside look at what you can do with it. And then all of those, as well as WorkDrive, is available online and on desktop and mobile. And then we've got version history as well, which I will explain more when I go into the demo. So yeah, you can view, edit, and share files on your desktop and mobile. I just wanted to mainly add in this screenshot to show you what a nice, organized, built-out WorkDrive looks like. The demo account that I'm about to show you does not look this beautiful. I apologize, but it's fine for our purposes today. So on the left, we can see all of these beautifully curated team folders that are separated by department and some other categories down the bottom. In the middle, we can see in the marketing folder, we've got a bunch of separate folders in there, and then some documents as well. And on the right behind the phone here, you'll see there's some important information about the folder, who created it, when it was modified, how big it is, and how much space it is used up in your WorkDrive. All right. So now I would love to show you a demo of WorkDrive, and I'm actually going to show you a little bit of Writer today as well. So I'm going to go back to our launch pad for Zoho Remotely. I'm going to click on WorkDrive. All right, so this is Zoho WorkDrive. This is what you will see when you hop into it, or obviously yours will be a bit blank because if you haven't put anything in it yet, but this is what ours looks like on our demo account. So on the left side, we've got our folders we've created, general and marketing. You can create public and private folders. Private meaning that only the people in your organization that you've given access to the folders can see it. Public meaning external people outside of your organization will be able to have the link and see it. So let's go ahead and create a folder, a team folder, and we're going to call this finance. We're going to make it a private folder, and we're going to say for finance gurus only and hit create. From there, we see that Dylan, very cool with his sunglasses on, is the admin, and we can add other people in our organization. We can select their roles, we can give them full control. Maybe if we want to delegate a task here and we want to say, okay, I want to give Megan admin control of this this team folder so that she can now take over all of the information that's going to be passed in and out of this folder. And then we can add her, and then we can go to the team folder. So beyond storing documents in here, WorkDrive will help you stay updated on what has changed. So if we click all unread, obviously we've got nothing here, but when someone edits something on your WorkDrive, you'll be able to see that here. So if someone has updated a document that I also had access to, I would see a red badge over here. It would come up as 1 or 20 or 200, depending on how many changes you're making or your team is making. And you would see a red badge, and you would be able to see who made the change and where the change was made. So it's just a really good way to keep you in the loop. You know, when you're working with numerous different people on different things, it can be hard to know what was changed. So instead of people having to email you or chat you about some changes that they want to make or they have made, or maybe they don't even tell you and they end up deleting something because they think it's not relevant, but it was actually really important, you can see all of that information here. So it cuts down on all the noise. Again, they don't have to message you and say, hey, I've updated this document. Can you have a look? So now let's check out these different file formats, different file types, and what it looks like to create a file. So we're in my folders here, and you can see we've got some a folder, so a writer file, which is our document builder. This is a show file, and there's no sheet in here, but this is a PowerPoint, a Microsoft PowerPoint, and this is a Microsoft Word. So, and they're all just sitting nicely next to each other. They're not all Zoho file types. You know, they're all just sitting in there together where they should be, because if that's what your team is using, then that's important that it's shown there. So another handy thing is that you can create files right from WorkDrive. So you click on New, and you can see you can upload a folder, import from the cloud, add a folder, or you can also create these documents here. So I'm going to go ahead and create a writer document. And now Zoho Writer looks like any other document builder, but you'll notice that you can't see any editing tools, and that's because they are all hidden over here. Which just keeps the workspace nice and clean, and I actually really like it. I've been using Writer for as long as I've worked at Zoho, probably almost a year now, and yeah, I really enjoy using Writer and the clean, minimalistic workspace that I have to use. So you simply click over here, and this stays open when you're typing as well. So you can see we've got a bunch of different formatting options here, pretty straightforward. And then you can insert different things, images, tables. You can import a spreadsheet from Zoho Sheets. You can insert a barcode, QR codes, fields and signatures, and so on. So my signature, etc. And then in design, we can see a bunch of different color sets and text formats. So you can change that there if you want to. In page setup, pretty straightforward, change the layout, change the orientation of the page, the design. In view, we've got reader view, which basically goes something like this. You've also got dark mode if you're interested in that, which I tend to like with all of my Zoho applications. You can see all of the images in the document. We obviously don't have any in this one. And then we've got focus typing. So when you click that, let me see if this works with just this little. So yes. So with focus typing, it means that the focus is on the paragraph that you're typing now. So, capitalize, something like that. And then you have a new paragraph here as well. So that's just interesting to note if you would like to use that. And then we've got tools. So these are your, your spelling and grammar tools. If you're feeling fancy, you can turn on the typewriter sound. Not sure if this will go through to you guys, but if you can hear the typewriter sound, yes, like I said, if you're feeling fancy, you can do that. And then this is new, transliteration. And basically what that means is that, turn this on to type in a different language while using your English keyboard. So currently this is only available in Tamil, which is a language in India where our Indian office is, but you can definitely have a look on there and request new languages if you are interested. And then down here, we've got automate. So you can publish a document as a form, upload to Zoho Sign. If you have Zoho Sign, it is available for free, I'm pretty sure, if you wanted to do that, and publish to your blog as well. So heading back to insert, we can start leaving comments here. So, we can leave comments straight away for our collaborators to read and respond to. Maybe, hey, this is good. And then we can add that comment. Then back in view, you can see we've got document navigation here. And this, when you click on that, it just comes up the side. Let me get out of that comment. And this is really important when you're dealing with very dense information. Say something like a big financial report or something to do with some legal matter. And so basically you can see all of your headings here if we were to have any, your bookmarks and your fields. That's just really easy when you have a lot of information. You don't want to be scrolling through a document. So now, how do we invite collaborators to start working on this document? And we would do that by clicking share. So let's give it a name, cool document, rename. And then we can share our cool document with our teammates. Maybe we want to share it with Megan and Victoria, and they are employees of us. We can change their access, give them privileges to share, or we're just going to leave it at view. And then you can share externally. So you can click new and create an external share link. And who is an external? So Tony at fitness.net is one of our external customers. And you can see we can only give him access to edit and view, so we can't actually share the document. Like I mentioned before, you can set a password if you like, set an expiration date, you can unallow downloads, and then you can request some data from him as well. So then you can create and share that with those people. And then you can, you can copy this link and share it with him as well. So next to share, we have compose, review, and distribute. So within review, this helps you track all of the changes and comments that are made to your document. So you can really maximize your collaborative efforts. And then when this document is as good as it's going to get, you can hit distribute, you can publish, send as an email, post to a blog, merge a few documents, sign it, download it, print it, or you can mark it as final, which stops all editing. Also, because it's cloud software, it saves as you go. So maybe you can notice this little button, sorry, not button, yeah, saving. So you can see that all edits have been saved. So it's really just that simple. You begin the document from where you want it to live within the work drive. You can always move it afterwards. And yeah, it's just really easy, really simple to create documents from there. So one last thing before we get out of here, and you wouldn't even know it was there, is that if you come over to this tiny little chat bubble here and click it, oh, I had it clicked, and you click it, pretend you didn't see that. This is Zoho Click. So you can see all of our chats, channels, and contacts. So we've come full circle. So Click is here, making all of your team collaboration much easier. All of your contacts, chats, and channels have followed you here. So rather than bouncing around to a bunch of different windows, your conversations come to where your work is, because that is what makes the most sense. And you can also see it's not taking up much real estate here. It's very small. So instead of taking over what you are doing, currently working with a big chat window, or maybe like a few different, you have this document over this side and then your chat window over this side, you can keep working knowing that you won't miss anything. So that pretty much concludes the demos for today. I'm going to move this back up over there. And I'm going to just finish off today with some resources. So we'll get to those questions in a second. If you'd like to learn some more about Zoho remotely, feel free to click on that link there. I will send you the slides too, or you can simply type that link in. And then we've got the knowledge base, which is just some more information. Security, if you'd like to learn more about that. I've got some more webinars. I'll be doing a webinar on projects and sprints, which are our project management tools. Then there's my email if you wanted to email me personally with any other questions that you have, or if you just wanted some assistance. I can always help you, point you in the right direction. I'll pop that back up in a second. So then these are the apps that I went over today: Click, Meeting, and Work Drive. And it's really easy to just type in Zoho Click into Google, and there's a lot of resources available for each application on our website. So there's different webinars done by the product teams over in India, or I have some some more webinars that I'll be doing as well. Also, if there's an application that you want me to cover in the remotely bundle, feel free to let me know as well. And then we've got we're after some Australian and New Zealand remotely testimonials. So if you are an ANZ customer, Australian New Zealand customer, have been using remotely for a few weeks or more and have found remotely really helpful during the coronavirus pandemic, we'd like to hear from you. And these testimonials may be in the form of a video interview with possibly me about your experience with remotely and the value it is adding to help run your business from home. If you don't want to be videoed, we could do a written testimonial or a case study. If it's a video, we may feature you on our YouTube channel or our website, and written would be website and blogs, possibly. And the main thing with this is that we just really want to highlight the effect of coronavirus on Australian and New Zealand businesses and how these tools have helped you in any way. And just to try and, let the people let them know about these tools that may be of use to them during this time. Then we have the Emergency Subscription Assistance Program, and this is available globally with all of our paying customers who've been with us for over a year, and if you have 25 employees or less. So it's basically just another relief effort for our paying customers because we feel that small businesses are being hit hard right now, and unfortunately this may continue for a while. So if you qualify, please have a look at this link. One thing I should say right now is that remotely is free until July 1st, 2020. At that point, we will assess the situation happening globally and consider extending it. But the ultimate plan is to bring Remotely out as a paid product. We're not sure how much it will be yet. We're still figuring that out, but our pricing is generally very cheap. So you will know well in advance if we're going to be putting a price on it. So for now, there's nothing to worry about with that. Then, if you're active on social media, feel free to tag us using these hashtags. Come find me on LinkedIn if you like, Lyra Mackay, and we can continue the conversation about remote work. Let your online communities know that we have these tools available for them.